of all that tell, this is live number 2. David Muir has admitted to physically abusing his son Bryson for the reasons that he was inappropriate with other children. Do not know if these allegations are true. We will listen to the said information. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Vote itself.
From Logansport, Daniel and Kristen Muir face felony charges of obstruction to justice. Daniel is also charged with a misdemeanor count of domestic battery. After their inspection, the Department of Child Services says they found more disturbing details about the Muir home. Cody Fisher shares their findings.
Daniel and Kristen Muir walked into a Cass County courtroom in orange jumpsuits just hours after their home was raided by an Indiana State Police SWAT team. During that raid, ISP found their son, who had been missing for 18 days and the subject of a silver alert. Kristen Muir was tearful in the courtroom as the judge sternly denied the couple bond. According to court documents, Daniel Muir had a conversation with his brother-in-law about his son. During the recorded conversation, Muir said he looked his son like a grown man because of allegations that the teen had inappropriate contact with other children. Muir told his brother-in-law that if they lived in their religious homeland, that his son would be put to death for his acts. But since they live in the United States, they could not put him to death. On June 27th, Indiana State Police and the Department of Child Services met with the Muirs. During that meeting, Daniel and Kristen had different stories about how their missing son had a bruised eye. On the same day, DCS did a home inspection and interviewed several of the Muirs' children, who told them that their parents disciplined them by spanking them with belts and a garden hose. They also said their parents occasionally hit them in the mouth. According to Indiana State Police, the Muir family agreed to come in for an interview on June 28th with their son. But an hour before the meeting, the family backed out. That's when law enforcement started the process of getting a search warrant that led to the ISP raid.
What a mess. Where do I start? Oh my goodness. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, mercy, mercy, mercy. 1 second, everybody. I'm going to read you a brief synopsis of this same information, okay? .1 FM, WIBC is the source, dated July 3rd. Talking to a relative, former Colts defensive tackle Daniel Muir said he beat his 14-year-old son over allegations of inappropriate contact that the boy had with other children. That's according to redacted court documents. News 8 obtained Wednesday afternoon from Cass County authorities. I whooped his ass like a grown-ass man, Daniel Muir reportedly told a relative. Wow. According to the court documents, Daniel Muir also told the relative, the brother of his wife, that if they lived in their homeland, religious country, redacted name, would be put to death for his acts. Instead, they live in the United States, so they could not put him to death, court documents say. What country might that be? I'm curious. The Muir's son, Bryson Muir, 14, has been the subject of a silver alert. He was found safe and unharmed, Indiana State Police said after Wednesday raid of the Muir's home. Muir and his wife, Kristen Muir, were being held in jail without bond after a Wednesday court hearing. Daniel Muir was charged with domestic battery, and he and his wife were charged with obstruction of justice. And those charges each are felonies, and his battery charge is a misdemeanor. Muir played 4 seasons with the Colts from 2008 to 2011. He played in 40 games in Indianapolis, starting in 26 of them. He played 7 total years in the NFL, spending 1 season with each of the Packers, Jets, and Raiders. A special weapons tactics team of the state police at 6 a.m. Wednesday, using a search warrant, raided the Muir home in the 1700 block of US 24 in Logansport. The action came at the request of the Department of Child Services to investigate allegations of domestic abuse. State police previously reported that the property in Logansport is owned by the Servant Leadership Foundation. Daniel Muir is said to be the pastor of Straightway Truth Ministry, the nonprofit religious group based in Greenwood Village, Colorado, according to ProPublica online records. Well, now we have a mention of another place, Colorado. Interesting. Members of the controversial religious sect identify as Hebrew Israelites, and they live in communes. I-Team 8's Kat Sandoval on June 27 spoke to the family's neighbors, who declined to be on camera for fear of retaliation. However, they described the Muir's Logansport property and the Straightway Truth Ministry as scary, creepy, and cult-like. Multiple no trespassing signs lined the property gates. Some neighbors told Sandoval on June 27 they have heard gunshots from the property in the past. Bryson had been missing since June 16. He was last seen leaving Ohio with his mother after visiting his grandmother, Cheryl Wright. Wright called state police after Bryson left and reported he might have been abused, and she asked police not to let Bryson go with his mother. State police on June 18th were asked by Cass County's division of the Indiana Department of Child Services, DSC, to investigate abuse to Bryson. Photographs show that he had what court documents call swelling and bruising around his right eye, with holding an ice pack inside what appeared to be a residence. While holding an ice pack, while inside what appeared to be a residence. The civil alert for Bryson Muir showed him with a black eye. The DCS report describes redacted names. Injury is the result of punishment dealt by his father, Daniel Muir, the court documents say. Court documents say Kristen Muir on June 20th confirmed in a recorded call to her mother, Cheryl Wright, that the injury came from Daniel Muir punishing his son. Court documents also describe, hold on one second. So they have a confirmed call, recorded call to the mother, Kristen to her mother on the 20th of June, that Daniel Muir punished his boy child. Court documents also describe how Daniel Muir and Kristen Muir tried to prove to investigators that their son wasn't injured by his dad. Very interesting. In June 27th meetings with state police, the boy's parents produced videos where Bryson Muir denied his father punched him in the eye. Kristen Muir also told state police that an unknown individual had punched Bryson Muir when he went to take out trash and walked over to train tracks near their property. She said Bryson Muir reported the injury to her and his father when he returned home. Wow. Got the kids lying. Daniel and Kristen Muir will be back in court 9 a.m. July 16th for a hearing about bond. The defense attorney for Kristen said Wednesday in court that he believes holding her without bond violates her constitutional rights because the Indiana matrix says the bond should be $500 surety or $100 cash for level 6 felony. The judge said the parents' failure to comply with the police investigation for 2 weeks was why no bond was issued. Daniel Muir responded, "I have children, man." Kristen Muir is nursing an 8-month-old child. Child Services on Wednesday took all the Muir's children into their care. Wow, didn't know that. Although authorities have not said how many children the pair has. The Muirs married in 2009. Interesting. In the court documents, Child Services also found the Muirs' other children may have been disciplined. In the court documents, children with redacted names reported during interviews on June 27 that they'd previously been whooped with a green water hose on the legs, arms, and butt. Charles Dow, head pastor of Straightway Truth Ministries, issued a video response on the Muir's arrest. He says the raid happened while the Israelites were in prayer, and all happened over an allegation made to Child Services. No one really knows what happened, Dow said. The head pastor also says, hold on, let me go back up, kind of jumped there. Charles Dow, head pastor of Straightway Truth Ministries, issued a video response on the Muir's arrest. He says the raid happened, while the Israelites were in prayer, and all happened over an allegation made to Child Services, No one really knows what happened, Dow said. The head pastor also says that while he imagines the fallout from the allegation will not end well. The church will not take any of this lying down, quote unquote. We're coming. You better believe we're coming, Dow said. We're going to see how funny everything is when the smoke clears and when you really truly find out they made a mountain out of a molehill. Wow. How did they make a mountain out of a molehill, Mr. Dow? You are just an idiot. You upholding these people, and they beat this boy, as he told in a recorded call, Mr. Muir, to his brother-in-law. He whooped his A like a grown-ass man. So I said that before in my live stream. The boy looks like he was in a fight with a grown man. Although he's allegedly a tall boy for his age. But obviously he didn't want to go toe-to-toe with his father or try to go toe-to-toe with his father. So we have Bryson in state's care, other children in state's care. How many children total are we talking about? What is the inappropriate allegation that the boy did? Allegedly what? He was messing with other children. What? Touching them? Sex? What? Where did he learn that? Because that's what a lot of people are probably going to say. Well, where did he learn to touch other children? And it's not the children are curious, but he's older. So we got to ask ourselves the ages of the children. People are going to be curious. What are the ages? Is it boys? Is it girls? What is it? How many children has he touched inappropriate? How did you find out about it? Did one of the children tell it? Or you caught him in an act? What? Beating the children. Another allegation. Children admitted they were beat with hoses. A green hose. What the hell are you doing beating kids with a damn hose? Thick ass rubber hose. This is ridiculous. Why are you beating children with hoses? Spanking them on their butts, against legs, arms, whatever. Well, he got punched in the eye. How about that? So who's doing all the spanking? Mr. Muir? Kristen? Otherwise? That's another question. She's nursing an 8-month-old, was before the arrest. Who has, oh, well, the state has that baby. Answer my own question. So what about the other wives? Do any of the wives living on the compound or in their house are they the mother of any of these children? Because I don't really know who's what's what. I do believe they said in another article I read that he has 3 children with Kristen. So how many children total with Kristen? Any other children with any of the other wives? We hear they've been married since 2009. I also made a short the other day where one article says she sold all her designer goods, Gucci, Louis Vuitton bags, to live a simpler life, sold them on Facebook. As I said in that short, she probably wishes she could have them back. Trade her life back. Yeah, because this life you have here is a fraud. It's a fraud. It's the blind leading the blind. All this Israelite talk, mumbo jumbo talk, look where you are now. You're throwing your hand up, walking out the corridor, Mr. Muir, like you're mad at somebody. You put yourself here. Nobody told you to beat that boy down like that, even if he was inappropriate with the children. You're supposed to talk to him. Go take him and get some help. How is beating him going to make the situation better? We also hear that he admitted that he deserved to be beat up in that fashion, which we know he did not. And I get it. A parent would be very angry to find out their child is allegedly touching another child inappropriately. That's expected for you to be angry. But you damn near killing the kid. How is that going to solve his problem if he needs help? Obviously, he needs help. You all gave conflicting stories to DHS and the state police. So, Kristen, what version did you give? What version did you give? Because we hear that in the audio. You gave a different version. He gave a different version. I find it interesting that everybody is recording their phone calls with you all. Imagine that. What other allegations do you have against you? And they talked to the children, and the children told you whoop them too. And you also like to hit them in their mouth. Wow. So we got legs, arms, butts, mouth, eyes. Well, there's nothing left but to hit you in your stomach or hit you in your chest, hit you in your back. So who's doing all of this hitting and punching? Is it just Mr. Muir? Is it Kristen? Is it any other wives? Are any other wives living in the house with Kristen and Daniel? Number one. If not, where do they stay? Does he have any children with any other wives, women? What do they have to say about this debacle? You hear that the children have been removed in this article by WIBC. All children are now in state's care. Yes, I say you all have a problem. And then you have the nerve to tell the judge, talking to him like you're in the street, I got kids, man. Well, you don't care about them, you're beating them up. We're not even going to ask how long has been beating the children. Probably since they've been here. What are the ages of the children? Guess they're going to tell the judge too, oh, well, we deserved it. Brainwashed. Because I'm sure that's what you tell the children. You deserve this. You know you did wrong, so you have to be punished. And you probably make them go sit in a corner or stand on one foot repenting. Probably some old idiotic ass way of torturing the kids further. Spewing Bible verses and other rhetoric. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. All children removed. Beating children with hoses. What in the hell is wrong with you two? Who takes a hose that belongs outside and bring it inside to whoop a child? Are you serious? And I'm scared to even ask what the ages are of you whooping these kids. Because it's going to be a shame if we find out they're little itty bitty spiders being beat with a water hose, popping them in the mouth. And sir, you have big hands. So you hitting a child is going to hurt profusely. That's why Bryson's right eye was swole, damn near shut, red. It's a wonder you didn't punch his eye out of the socket. Made the child go blind. The other eye was puffy. And what did you tell this brother-in-law? You whooped him like a grown-ass man. Those were your words. Well, I guess you feel better now. So guess what? Your grown ass is now locked up. How about that? Checkmate. Even swap ain't no swindle. And Mr. Dowd, you steady running your mouth and uploading videos like you're a superstar, which you're not. Who's going to be apologizing to whom about this debacle with these children? I'll wait. Nobody's getting ready to apologize to Mr. Muir about a damn thing. Not the state police, DHS, or the district attorney. You will be waiting on that apology at your gravesite. Why does somebody owe him an apology for beating his kid that he now has admitted to in a phone call? And I'm sure he's sick to know that that evidence is revealed. But what I find interesting is that that phone call was recorded between he and a brother. Why would their brother record it? Because I don't know if Mr. Muir recorded it, but I find it strange that call is recorded and another call recorded. I believe with the mother, the grandmother. This is some interesting stuff here. Everybody recording phone calls. And in fact, you don't have a bond is because you were supposed to meet with the state and DHS with Bryson and you never showed up. Because you knew he looked bad. His eye hadn't healed. You were afraid to talk to him. You were afraid to let them talk to him, what he would tell. You knew what was going to happen. That's why you didn't comply. And the judge deems both of you a flight risk. And I would agree. Because if you're bold enough to sit up on your property, knowing that you beat a kid and knowing that somebody has seen the bruises on the child, you should have known the grandmother was going to call Department of Human Services, police, or whomever. And she did. And I thank God he's alive. Now, this nonsense of if you were in your homeland, he'll be put to death. Strong words. So where is that homeland, sir? What country are you speaking of? What, Israel? What are you talking about? So now you're from Israel? Well, shut your mouth. Well, maybe the United States government can send you back over there. You and Kristen and your other wives. How about that? Because I don't know what country you're speaking of. And I don't think you've traced your lineage to any other country. Yes, he says, well, I don't want to claim Africa. I'm from somewhere else. Well, that's fine with me. As I said, maybe the government could get you a one-way ticket and ship your ass back, you and your wife and your wives. Ship you back to where you came from. Talking about unaliving a child. But I can't do that here in the United States. Well, we're very glad you didn't unalive the boy. Thank you. You all are a hot butter mess. Neighbors say you've been shooting things, gunshots. How often is that? Your property's creepy. Have you all had words with the neighbors, saying things to them out of the way? Trespassing signs for what? Nobody's going to come up on your property. You got it gated up from the front to the back. Who's coming in there? Nobody. What a hot, utter mess. Said he beat his 14-year-old son over allegations of inappropriate contact that the boy had with other children. So if he's been touching other children inappropriately, how long has this been going on, I wonder? And as some people are saying under these videos, well, sir, where might he have learned this behavior? Let us think about that for just a second. You've got all these different people running in and out of your house in beds. It's no telling what the child is seeing. A man is one day with his mother, then the next day he's kissing and loving on another woman. Then the next day he's kissing and loving on another woman. Then the next day he's kissing and loving on another woman. And who knows how you're touching them in front of the children where they can see. We don't know what you're doing on the compound. And then you got all these different random people on your properties, and you're taking your children over here and over there and bringing all these other people with children and grown-ups around your kids. How do we know somebody hasn't touched him inappropriately? That's where he learned it from. I don't know. But I'm sure that they have a forensic therapist who talks to him to ask him, when did it start? When did he start touching the children? How long? And has somebody touched him inappropriately. Now that's what we really want to hear. Has someone been touching Bryson inappropriately? Are you telling the truth? But you're not in any shape to talk about somebody being inappropriate. Because allegedly you have wives that you are not legally married to. So it's no telling what you've been doing and saying in front of your children, and you're misleading them to think that it's okay to have a harem when you know it's against the law. And as I said before in my live stream, God didn't make Adam and Eve times infinity. Last I checked, there was no Karen and Shamiqua and Linda in the Garden of Eden. Would be kind of overcrowded, don't you think, Daniel? My. I don't care what he is. He's a bum. He's a straight bum. This is bad. See, this is what tickles me about people when they get arrested for nefarious business. They always want to give the judge an excuse why they should be free. But you just had freedom. You had freedom weeks ago. But you've been beating your kids and using them as little punching bags. That's a choice. And it's going to be a shame if we find out these are small children that's getting beat with water hose. Water hoses. It's ridiculous. You're too big, you're too heavy-handed. Be beating a kid. You could have seriously injured that boy. Then what? Oh, we definitely know it would have been a cover-up then. Oh, it definitely would have been a cover-up had you unalived him. We'd be talking about something else besides black eyes. This is bad. This is really, 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 really bad. Lord have mercy. Daniel and Kristen Muir are still in custody. They have an upcoming court appearance to discuss bond and a no contact order pertaining to their children. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining me. Well, that's what it's been alleged, that it is a cult. I think he's probably got about 3 wives total. This is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Reading the article. Beating his child and, probably bragging. Yeah, I beat his I beat him like a grown-ass man. He's bragging. But then he gets arrested, play duck, duck, goose, hide the child out because he don't want the state to see the child and what he's done to his face. And God knows what else they don't want the people to see. So they talk to the children admit they've been abused. So now all children are out of the house compound and both parents are locked up. Where are the other mothers? How many people live on the compound? How many children total were removed? How many children does he have with any other woman besides Kristen? How long have they been abusing the children? What exactly did Bryson do? Because people like Daniel, I don't trust. So I need a receipt that he touched another child. I'm not saying he didn't do it, but I'm just saying I'd rather have a receipt. Because people like this are radical. When people have radical minds and they start believing these far-fetched religions and pimping the Bible and taking things out the Bible and then putting it in another book, and you don't know what method of thinking their own. They might think a billy goat's a unicorn. I'm just saying. I'd rather have receipts. And no way they're going to let those kids go back after you beat that child like that, whatever level misdemeanor it is. His face looks horrible. He's a child. He can't fight a grown man. He may be a tall kid, but he couldn't hold his weight up against his father. And you had no business beating that boy down like that. Like I said, if it's true that he touched a child, yes, that's a horrible thing. So what you needed to do was talk to your son to get to the bottom of why he was doing it, how long he's been doing it. Make sure he apologized to the child. Then you need to talk to the child who's being touched. And everybody needs to be in therapy. You're too busy trying to knock the children out to where you end up catching a murder charge. Because you're a fool. You're a damn fool. That's my commentary, everybody. This is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Beating the children with a damn hose. Let's play that content one more time and I'm going to check out of here. Thank you for joining me. This is live number 2. Holy cow. What a world we live in. There's no telling how long this nonsense has been going on with this man and these kids and these wives. It's a hot butter mess.
Well, Kristen Muir faced felony charges of from Logan Sport. Daniel and Kristen Muir face felony charges of obstruction to justice. Daniel is also charged with a misdemeanor count of domestic battery. After their inspection, the Department of Child Services says they found more disturbing details about the Muir home. Cody Fisher shares their findings.
Daniel and Kristen Muir walked into a Cass County courtroom in orange jumpsuits just hours after their home was raided by an Indiana State Police SWAT team. During that raid, ISP found their son, who had been missing for 18 days and the subject of a silver alert. Kristen Muir was tearful in the courtroom as the judge sternly denied the couple bond. According to court documents, Daniel Muir had a conversation with his brother-in-law about his son. During the recorded conversation, Muir said he whooped his son like a grown man because of allegations that the teen had inappropriate contact with other children. Muir told his brother-in-law that if they lived in their religious homeland, that his son would be put to death for his acts. But since they live in the United States, they could not put him to death. On June 27th, Indiana State Police and the Department of Child Services met with the Muirs. During that meeting, Daniel and Kristen had different stories about how their missing son had a bruised eye. On the same day, DCS did a home inspection and interviewed several of the Muirs' children, who told them that their parents disciplined them by spanking them with belts and a garden hose. They also said their parents occasionally hit them in the mouth. According to Indiana State Police, the Muir family agreed to come in for an interview on June 28th with their son. But an hour before the meeting, the family backed out. That's when law enforcement started the process of getting a search warrant that led to the ISP raid.
Garden hose, slapping them in the mouth, belts. Wow, wow, wow. The boy even said he deserved it. What a hot butter mess. She's crying in court. Well, you're crying and he has an attitude. Imagine the difference in the dispositions of two people who are beating and allowing abuse to go on in their household. One's in there mad, mumbling to lawyers, and the other one's, she's crying because she has to nurse an 8-month-old. You got the nerve to be knocked up with another baby? Now that's funny. See, this is what I'm talking about. These people are always mating like rabbits. Have you noticed that when it comes to child abuse? So then you got to ask yourself, how are they treating their children before they came to this Hebrew Israelite phase? Were they still being abusive to their children, other people? Because you have to ask yourself, what made them join this cult, a religious sect, whatever you want to call it. I hear one of his teammates, Mr. Kabir, turned them on to this, to these teachings. And now look at them. They're both in jail with no bond. Will people blame the religion? Oh, the religion. Is it the religion? Is it the religion's fault? Just teachings. What you do with it is on you, is it not? So what are the teachings of this sect? Because I don't really know anything about any Hebrew Israelites. Ain't trying to find out. I can barely deal with the good Christians. Shut your mouth. The good Jews and Catholics. So I don't know anything about any Hebrew Israelites, but I can tell you one thing. You all are misled and you're misleading people and you're using people. And that's what I have seen just from videos I've watched and commentary. I think you all are misguided in life. You're looking for something like so many people. And usually people who are looking for something are the ones who get tangled up in the most drama. And you all are too old to be wrapped up in drama, such as jail for child abuse and obstruction of justice. And obviously you thought it was a joke. But you're living out there in rural America, Indiana, and it's nothing but country white folks up there. So guess what? What's the old saying? I can show you better than I can tell you. You thought buying property in the middle of nowhere would save you. Well, where was your savior the other day? I'll wait. Where was your savior the other day when the raid came? Knocked down your fence. And thank God they were respectful. Told you that the state will pay for your gate. Thank you for your cooperation. I've never heard of such in my life. Guess they thought, hell, they were nice to us. We got everybody out. No incident. Turned the favor. Hello, Closer. Thank you for joining me. Well, birth control is free. You can get it from the health department. I'm sure she doesn't work. She shouldn't have any problem getting free birth control from the Indiana State Health Department. Now you gotta ask those questions. When's the last time the children went to the doctor, went to the dentist? Do the children have medical care? Where are all their monies coming from? Innocent people who are donating to this church, probably. Just a big old mess. Let's talk about that for a second before I check out of here. About lost my train of thought. What is really going on here with this set? Church members, that's where I was, sorry. How many of them will still continue to support Pastor Muir and also Pastor Dow that's here in Tennessee? How many of you are going to now realize that, of course, you can't judge everybody as the same, but maybe this religious sect is not for me. I've been misled by this man. He's beating up his children. I gotta go. Not donating any more money, no more time. And how many of you are gonna go back to wearing Gucci and Prada and regular folk clothing and take them turbans off your head? I'm just saying. Headdress, excuse me. 100 degrees in Tennessee, and these women got on headdresses. Hot as hell here. I said that, and I'm sure hot as hell in Indiana. And you keep beating these children, I know somewhere you're going to be going where you definitely won't need a headdress, if you know what I mean, Mr. Muir, Mrs. Muir. Because I hear hell is hot. How about that? Well, let me guess, you don't believe in hell. It's Hebrew Israelite nonsense. I don't even know what it is. Dare not even try. Let's see what this other network has to say about when the parents were apprehended. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. This is pertaining to Daniel and Kristen Muir. They're currently in custody for obstruction of justice and a battery charge for Mr. Muir on his son Bryson. The children all are in the state's custody, and he alleged he beat the boy on a recorded call to his brother-in-law because the little boy was inappropriate with the other children. Is that allegation true? If so, how long has it been going on? How many kids has he sexually assaulted? Did he learn this behavior from somebody in his house, through the church? Has somebody been inappropriately touching Bryson? What is the truth? Thank you for joining me.
Coming to you from our digital desk, we have some breaking news, a story that we've been following for a couple of weeks now. A young man believed to be in trouble, believed to be possibly abused, was found this morning in Indiana. You may have heard this story. This is Bryson Muir, 14 years old. You can see the picture on the left. That was given to us by his grandmother. You can see a couple of black eyes. His grandmother was concerned in Garfield Heights when he came to visit, was dropped off. The grandmother got into a confrontation with her daughter about the condition of Bryson, and that's when they took off. She then called police, fearing for the safety of her grandson, Bryson, and it has started a 2-3 week search.
Let's stop right there. I have a problem with the grandmother only because she saw what the little boy looked like when she met her daughter to pick him up. Allegedly, she met them halfway because they live in different states. So one's going to say, you had him for damn near 2.5 days. You met on a Thursday, so you had him Friday, Saturday, early Sunday morning. Why would you wait to call the police when they are there to pick up the child? That makes no sense. Thank God they didn't do something to you, since her husband likes punching people. And you wait to call the police the day that they come to pick up the child, which is strange. They're creeping around in the early AM like vultures, swirling the prey. This is why you know there's something wrong with these two. You beat up a kid and then you let somebody get the kid for a couple days. Then you creep to get the kid at 7 in the morning. Grandmother calls the same day. This all is bizarre to me. I would have called the police as soon as I saw his face, which would have been that Thursday. Why in God's name did she wait until Sunday when Kristen comes to pick him up? This makes no sense to me. This is weird to me. Hell no, they weren't going to take the child to the state office to see the police and the DHS. For what? Hell no. Then we got the child saying he deserved it. This is all bizarre. Now, guess what? Nobody has the children. Grandma don't got them. Nobody's got the kids. All kids are in the state's care.
For the 14-year-old, and it came down to, obviously, he was potentially with his parents. But the question was, where was he? This morning, Indiana SWAT officials moved in on the father's home. That's Daniel Muir. He was a former football player for Kent State as well as the Indianapolis Colts. SWAT went in at 6 this morning. They found all three. Not only Bryson, but they found his father, Daniel Muir, along with his mother, Kristen Muir. Bryson was taken into custody by the Indiana officials, turned over to their version of Child and Family Services. He is said to be okay. That is the good news that they are reporting. The exact words from the Indiana State Police is that Bryson Muir, who appeared to be safe and well, was released to the care and custody of the Cass County Department of Child Services. His father, Daniel Muir, has now been charged. There has been a back and forth trying to find this child with no assistance from the parents. Over the past couple of weeks, Daniel Muir, his father, 40 years old, has been charged with 1 count of obstruction of justice. That's a level 6 felony in the state of Indiana, and 1 count of domestic battery. That is a Class A misdemeanor. What is the reason for that battery charge? Is that why Bryson Muir had black eyes? We'll have to wait for the courts to play that out. His mother, Kristen Muir, 38 years old, she has been charged with obstruction of justice. And I want to show you, they gave us the address of the home, and this is why this has been kind of an issue over the last couple of weeks. This wasn't a home in the middle of a neighborhood. You see, this is in Logansport. I want to make sure I get that correct. It is in Logansport, Indiana, and it's right here where this red dot is. This is not just a neighborhood where they could see a house and see if Bryson was there, knock on the door. It's off the highway. It has a gate, I believe, down here in the front. And tough to get to the house or see anything. That's why SWAT had to move in this morning to find this teenager. They went in at 6 in the morning, a pretty common tactic. People probably asleep at that point. You get the element of surprise. This whole story is very convoluted, but the good news is that, of course, Bryson Muir has been found, and what, according to the Indiana State Police, he appears to be safe and well, but he has now been released to the custody of the Cass County Department of Child Services. Again, this all comes back to Garfield Heights, to Northeast Ohio, a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to play a story from our Vic Gideon that sort of lays out where this all started, the concern for the young man's safety. And again, that all stems from a confrontation when the grandmother saw Bryson with those black eyes. Take a look.
This is missing 14-year-old Bryson Muir, last seen Sunday, June 16th in Garfield Heights.
911, what is your emergency? I have my grandson who's badly abused by his parents. He's 14. Okay. He's being abused.
We really started looking at this as an endangered missing person.
His grandmother took a picture of Bryson with a black eye, and when Bryson's mother came to pick him up, she called 911 after she said there was a confrontation between her and her daughter, Bryson's mother. Kristen then took off in a white 2015 Chevy Suburban from the grandmother's Garfield Heights home. Minutes later, Garfield Heights police pulled over Kristen in that Suburban, but no Bryson.
In that period of time, Bryson wasn't to be found. We don't know where he went.
Bryson's father, Daniel Muir, played 7 seasons in the NFL as a defensive lineman, playing college football at Kent State University. He now appears to be a pastor at a religious group called Straightway Truth Ministry. The Muir family lives in Logansport, Indiana, on this property, but the Indiana State Police have been unable to talk to anyone at the home during their search for Bryson.
He's our primary concern. His well-being and his safety is of utmost importance.
So we reached out to Indiana State Police to learn the latest on the case, and they are asking anyone with information to reach out to authorities.
Again, that was our Vic Gideon earlier this week. That's a story we've been following pretty closely. Anytime a grandmother produces a picture of a 14-year-old that appears to be pretty injured, the black eyes, to say the least. Again, here's that picture on the left-hand side. That's what caught the concern of the grandmother. That's what started this sort of run by the parents, at least the mother taking off, taking the grandson back to Logansport, Indiana. And then the question has been over the past couple of weeks, where was Bryson? Again, there was a raid at the family home in Logansport. He was found this morning, just about 6 o'clock now. Both the mother and father have been charged, both with obstruction of justice, but the father, Daniel Muir, now charged with domestic battery. And again, we're not exactly sure if that is an indication that he is the one responsible for the injuries to Bryson. That'll have to play out in court. We'll wait for maybe some more filings. Perhaps some more information will come out. But the good news, according to the Indiana State Patrol, State Police, Bryson has been found alive and well and has been taken into custody for authorities there. Just wanted to update you on this story, as it has been a little bit bizarre, a little bit convoluted. And of course, the question of where was Bryson Muir has now been answered. If we have any other breaking news, it'll be here on our digital properties. Otherwise, you can catch our morning news is still ongoing, CW43, and then again on Cleveland 19 in just a bit. Until then, I'm Dan DeRosa with 19 News. Have a good afternoon.
19 News is...
All right, Cleveland 19, this is Source. That is older content from days ago. The latest information is that Daniel admitted in recorded phone calls to beating the boy child. He said he whooped his ASS like a grown ASS man. Street talk. For allegedly being inappropriate with other children. All children are now in the state's care, including Bryson. Do not know the ages of the children. Do not know how many children there are. Last count, there were 3 children by Kristen and Daniel together. But I do not know if other children were on the compound, in trailers, homes, sheds, or what. Do not know about any other persons on the compound. Who all is still there. Who all lives there. And as Pastor Dow continuously wants to uphold these people, that's his dumb ass too. Because he's another fool. That's why I said you have fools leading fools. We're not going to take this lying down. What are you going to do? Storm the gate? Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Go on and run up that. the courthouse with your guns and this and that, and you'll all be laying down. There'll be somebody needing to set up funeral arrangements for all of you. So go ahead, make a fool out yourself, get your life taken on some SHIT that Mr. Muir and his wife has done. Now, some people do not believe in corporal punishment. I myself grew up getting spanked, whooped. As my mother would say, I never whooped Angela for the same thing twice. I whooped her once, she didn't do it again. She did something else, but it wasn't the same thing. Can you whoop a child to the point of death? Of course. And that's why you see a lot of children physically abused, because their parents fight them. It's past the stage of whooping, spanking, it's beating. Beating them like they are a thief in the street. And that's what Mr. Muir did to his son. I do not know if the allegations are true that the boy was touching other children, but my thing is, I don't trust them. And they also lied about how he got hit, which naturally they would. So each person gave a different version. And they didn't have time to conspire because they had no idea there was going to be a raid. So he gave one version, she gave another. One version I heard, as I read in this article that I was reading before some of you came in the chat, that they said the little boy confronted somebody at some railroad tracks or something. And I guess what you're trying to say, a stranger hit him. Yeah. As if the little boy could leave the property. Are these children wayward? Are these children wayward? Hard to manage, maintain. Not that I'm making excuses, just asking. Are they lashing out because they're tired of being cooped up? They want to be free. They want to go out. They want to play. They want other friends. They want to be near people. These people live off of a main highway or a highway that's in the middle of nowhere. Probably don't even have a lot of black people around. Playgrounds, schools, dollar stores. Don't even have basic stuff. Just in the middle of cows grazing and horses. Many people are raised this way, but it doesn't build for good courtships and friendships. Because when you go into the city limits and meet other people, school, different things, they're probably not even allowed to go to regular school. You can't build any friendships because nobody wants to drive out in the middle of nowhere to come to your house. It's just the bottom line. So are the children homeschooled? Very good question. How many children total on the compound? Are they homeschooled? What are the ages? How long has the abuse been going on? Is he the oldest child? Bryson. Lots of questions. The mother's 38. So that means she would have had him at what? 24. Young person having children. Father, ex-football player. Got himself tangled up in this religious sect that's a hot mess. And you can go into YouTube Q and watch all type of commentary pertaining to this church. Few people I've seen have made videos about these people, and so far all I'm seeing is negativity pertaining to this sect. And yes, you have the right to praise whoever you want. 1,000 Buddhas, one God, two gods, that is your civil right. But this organization is trying to be off the grid and not adhere to custom American law. And you have a lot of people like this. You usually see more Caucasian groups that live off the grid, fanatical living. Rarely do you hear black people living like this, off the grid, don't want to comply to the rules, regulations, pay taxes. But now you heard of this group. Straightway Truth Ministry. And then the Servant Leaders Foundation. Whatever the hell, I don't know what the hell any of it means. I have no idea. Take the poll. Should they both go to jail? 23 votes. 91% yes. 4% no. 4% not sure. Has everyone taken the poll? Hello, everybody in the chat. Rosanna, don't dive. 412. Hello, Pittsburgh. Welcome. As above, so below. Hello, everybody. Has everyone taken the poll? Should both parents get jail time? Also, how much time should they get? Go over to my community page and take that poll where you get different options from 1 year to less or more, 10 years, whatever you think sufficient for beating a child. I have a feeling they've been beating children. He's been beating children. He probably has anger management. We have heard a lot of horrible stories with athletes, such as football players, who are very violent. They abuse women, abuse children, abuse others. They like to get in fights, entanglements. We've also heard of the TCE disorder, if I'm saying it right, the brain disorder, from getting punched and hit all the time in their head. Guess somebody needs to ask that question. Does he also have that brain disorder, Mr. Muir? Since he was a, defensive tackle? Does he have some type of brain disorder? Is he violent? I think he is. Just from what I saw in the video where he was walking out of the corridor, he was throwing his hand up like he was upset. And I thought, who are you mad at? You put yourself in this situation. Nobody told you to beat that boy up like that, even if he was inappropriate. You want to beat it out of him? Because we have learned about child molestation, children experimenting, touching each other inappropriately. It leads to other things, especially if the child does not get appropriate help. So you can beat him. That doesn't mean he would stop, because we don't even know what's going on in this house with these people, what the child has seen. And as I said before, you're walking around here touching and groping other women that are not the mother of the child. He sees all those things. And some might say, well, what does that have to do with him touching children? Well, children role play just like you role play. You were a child once. He may be acting out what he's seeing, what he's hearing. You don't know who else has had contact with him. If someone's touched him inappropriately, a man or a woman or another child, did one of these parents touch him inappropriately? Have they been watching any type of pornographic material in the house? Can he hear certain things in rooms, such as sex acts, so on and so forth? See, you don't know. This is why children end up getting engaged in sexual acts, because they hear it, they see it. They're finding magazines, porn videos. They're in a room or earshot of somebody watching porn and or having sexual relations. Children aren't dumb. That's what's wrong with grown-ups. They think children are stupid. They're not stupid. Every little thing you do and say in your house with children, it's relevant. Everything. All your ideologies, your political beliefs, religious beliefs, discipline, everything. What is going to happen next week? What say you, the judge? Will you give these two a bond? Number one, will they get a bond? Number two, will they get custody of their children? Number three, if they are denied custody, what will be the care plan? Parental classes, got to show that they're going to school, medical records, immunizations, things that this group definitely would not comply with. And I think a judge is going to understand that, because they're out there living off the grid for a reason. So any plan that the judge enacts through family court, I don't see these people complying. That's the whole reason why they hid the child out. They knew it was serious what they did, and they disobeyed the order because they feel like we don't listen to common law rules and regulations, American law. We're not on that page. We're Hebrew Israelites. So we are not complying with your demands. So I think the judge is going to have a lot to ponder on as far as bond and or letting them get visits to the children, supervised visits. The judge is going to have to think very hard about his or her decision, because they didn't comply. That's the reason why you all exacted a raid. You also have information now that they have beat the other children. The children are told that they have been spanked with belts and a garden hose. on their buttocks, on their arms, legs, also slapped in the mouth. So the judge has a lot to consider. Are these people going to act right and not re-offend? Hit the children, beat the children. And after the way Bryson looked, there's no way I could trust these people to take care of their children. I'm sorry. Because it won't take much to set them off. And the fact that now they'll have to pay fines, court costs, he will be even more angry. And the way he behaved walking out of court, you could tell he was upset, probably because the camera was there on them, throwing his hand up. She's covering her face. She's in court crying because she's nursing an 8-month-old. But she should have thought about all those things while living in this house with her husband. And I want to know, Miss Kristen, are you happy in the life that you have on the compound? Because I don't think you're happy right now. You are currently a black woman incarcerated. You're facing a felony charge of obstruction of justice. Your husband is facing the same charge with a battery charge. No way you could be happy. I hope they don't get bonded out. But knowing the justice system, they will be this time in front of the judge. I'm praying that they have enough to keep the kids out of their custody. They will reoffend because, in my opinion, they don't believe they did anything wrong. Yes, I agree. In Canada, they be sent to anger management classes and get their kids back. Well, most states, you got to complete the plan first before getting your children back. So as we learned with the Wells case, they never complied. So whatever DHS put at the feet of the Wells here in Tennessee, they never met their obligation. And I do believe these people are combative. I believe the teachings that they're being taught are combative, and they are living off the land for a reason, and they're not trying to comply with American law. So that should tell you something right there. They're out there in the middle of nowhere for a reason. The children probably don't attend school. They have probably been beating and whooping the children severely. And there's nobody to say anything because the only people that see the children are the people that are in cahoots with them, which is a dangerous thing. And I got a feeling the next time it's going to go farther than just a beat down. And we have seen this in how many cases of child abuse. Somebody saw a black eye, somebody saw a bloody nose, and then the next time somebody says the child is in Georgia, the child's in New York, if you get my drift. Yeah, the child's in New York, buried, that's where they are. These people do not need to have children, in my opinion. They do not need to have access to the children. They do not need to have supervised visits. They don't need to have any more visits. If they want to give them a bond, cool. Both of them wear ankle monitors. Not to say they can't cut them off, but the point is they don't need to have access to the children. They want to walk the earth and mate amongst themselves and have a harem of 12, 15 wives, knock yourself out. But they do not need to have access to any children. There doesn't need to even be any children on the compound. And I would issue that as a judge, that compound cannot have any children on it per order from a judge. Church or not, no children. And then the child, if true, he's deemed a predator, other children can't be there anyway because the child is a problem. Bryson, if the allegations are true. Are the allegations true? Let's take the next poll. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the vote. Excel. 87% of you now say they should go to jail. Excuse me. 8% no, 5% not sure. Going to end that poll. Let's take the next poll. Thank you for joining me. Let's now ask about the allegations. Thank you so much for tuning into this live stream. Take the poll, everybody. I also posted to my community page. Do you believe Bryson SA other kids? 4 people have voted. 100% says no. $40 viewing, only 6 votes. Take the poll. Thank you. Nobody wants to take the poll. Do you believe Bryson SA other children? Now we have 22% not sure. Wow. 9 votes. %78 says no. All right, Don't Die. Don't Die says I don't believe it. Thanks, honey. Well, hopefully, if the allegations are true, that he gets proper care, proper therapy, because he's going to need it. Because he needs to understand that he cannot touch other children inappropriately. And see, we have learned about SA, it's a ripple effect. Possible he saw it done or it was done to him, so then he exacts it on another child, and then we have to now worry about those children touching other children inappropriately. It's just a vicious cycle. So that's why beating the children down, how's that going to help them change their thought process? It's not. Now we have to worry about him essaying more children and also being violent himself now that he's been beat like this. Then you got to ask yourselves how many times he's been beat by Daniel Muir. So it goes deeper than just sexual allegations. Horrific as it seems, is. Each person has a propensity to become an abuser down the road. That's the problem. And we've heard this many times from sadists. They were touched inappropriately as children, and then they became abusers as adults. And then the cycle just continues. And that's what's going to be the bad side of this story. If the children don't get adequate care, somebody has now got to talk to them about being touched. That's inappropriate. Brothers and sisters are not supposed to be touching one another, or whomever he's accused of touching. Because the parents are delusional, extremists, in my opinion. What does inappropriate mean to them? He is 14 years old. Did he kiss another 14-year-old girl, hold her hand, or essay? I don't know. They didn't say. The father just told a brother-in-law that he whooped his ass like a grown-ass man because they said he was inappropriate with other children. So I'm assuming it's essay because they do have other children. So that's what I'm saying. You got to know where all this is coming from. First, what did he do? Is it sexual? How long has it been going on? Did somebody do it to him for him to do it to the kids? Or did he see another kid do it? Or did a kid touch him? So he's mimicking what a child did to him. So you don't know. You don't know it's true. That's why I said, if it's true, he needs help. The other kids need help. It's a ripple effect. It's just a vicious circle. And these people don't need children. Because now they're going to live in fear. Now they're going to be scared living in somebody else's house. We don't know what type of people there, what houses they're in, if the states care, what foster home they're in. And you know we've heard the horrible stories of children in foster care. So then you leave one house getting beat up with garden hoses and belts to go in another damn house to get the same treatment. And I just brought you a story of a white couple using little black kids as slaves, not feeding them, putting them in a shed, barn with no bathroom, no food, limited food. One of the boys had sores on his feet. Sometimes foster care is not the best care. Sometimes the children go to a place worse than where they came from. So this is the catch-22 pertaining to children, because I don't think the Muirs need kids. And we don't really know what they've been doing to the children behind closed doors as far as discipline, as far as their religious teachings, how they talk to the children, how they interact to the children. Do they hug the children? Do they favor the children? Do they, pat them on the back for doing a good deed? Or are they the type that scold their children often, talk down to their children? Everything's a scripture in nature. G-O-D this, G-O-D that. Nobody can function in houses like that, where people are always quoting the Bible or the Quran. Nobody wants to hear that 24/7. As they say in the street, what is understood needs no explanation. So you don't have to quote Bible scriptures and the Quran and all that every day to make a point. And a lot of people live like that. They can't even hold a conversation with you. They got to tell you what Job said, what Noah said, what Peter said, what John said. I met someone like that many moons ago. Couldn't ask him a question. Oh, I don't have an opinion. Oh, but you can tell me what the Bible said. Just a bunch of weirdos out here. We know it's not a man. But he beat him like he was. And I said that when I first saw his face. Took the words right out of my mouth. I said, he beat that boy like he's a man. He was fighting him. And that's what he told the brother-in-law in a recorded phone call. So we now know the two calls that transpired. Recorded calls where he's admitting to beating the child. Now we have also the children admitting he beats them. So that's good enough for me, and I'm sure it's good enough for a judge and good enough for the state. Human DCS. Now everything lies in the hands of a judge. What say you, judge? They get to have visits, supervised visits, follow a care plan, because we know that you have to follow a care plan. If the state feels like you deserve a chance to be reunited with your children. So that's what's going to be the question in court. Will a judge give them a chance to be reunited with their children or say no? And that's another question I need to ask the chat. Then I'll check out of here. Thank you for your time. This was an unexpected live because I wasn't expecting to see that update. I don't know how I missed that information. %, yes. 61% no. 33 not sure. Do you believe Bryson essay? Sure. 61% no. 33% not sure. Yes, 5%. So somebody change that. Next question. Should the Muirs get supervised visits with the children? Take the pose. 44 in the room. Thank you. Well, don't die, there'll be another one, sadly. There's always a horrible story to replace another one. That's what's so bad about all of this nonsense. It's always terrible nonsense. I saw a notification tonight where I think 3 children were left inside of a hot car. I'm just like, excuse me, this just goes on and on. Every year, it's the same drama. Every day, same drama. Every season, leaving the children in a hot car. I think I shared a video earlier of a woman. She left a child inside of a hot car for 5 hours. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why people keep leaving their children in hot cars. Maybe somebody should leave you in a hot car. Let you see what it's like to sit inside of a car at 115 degrees. No way to get out. What can an infant do? Sweating and suffocating. An infant can't do anything. Even a toddler. Toddler has to know to be able to try what? Open the door to get out. Small child wouldn't be able to open the door. So you got to hope that if a toddler's inside, he or she will be able to get out of a restraint and open up car door to get air. And it's time for them to start charging these people. I just say it's attempted murder. I don't care what people say. Because you don't have any reason to leave a child in a hot car. You can't say you forgot. There's no way you can say you forgot 3 children. Oh, I was just going to run in and get some eggs and milk. 5 hours. Who the hell stays in a store for 5 hours? That's something you do if you go to the mall. 5 hours. There is no way in hell a person can tell me they were in Walmart for 5 hours. You should have at least 4 or 5 buggies if you were in Walmart for 5 hours. No way. No way, Jose. Not even if you were in there trying on clothes, should you have been in a store for 5 hours. Running around different places, that's the only way I can see it. You were in a shopping center and they had Home Goods, Ross, Walmart, Publix, and you were just going from place to place, place to place, place to place. So what are you doing? Walking around buying food and then you carry it to the Home Goods? Then you buy something out there, then you go to the next store, so you're walking around with all these damn bags? Come on now. Oh, I forgot. That wasn't the store. She was gambling. Let me find that information. Thank you for joining. Should the Muirs get supervised visits? Right now, we're 75% no. Take the polls, everybody. Please check out my video from earlier pertaining to a Marcus Andra Shorten, accused of bigamy in Texas. He's been married 4 times. And the last wife, number 3, said she just found out on Facebook back in December he was getting married. She confronted him. He married the woman anyway. And now he says he's not married to any of the women. Please check out that video from earlier today. And I also talked about a woman who killed her boyfriend in Houston as well 2 years ago, claiming to be the wife, but she wasn't the wife. And she killed the boyfriend because he brought another woman home. And then we find out there was a wife. So we had a web of 4 people. This gives new meaning to it. Aretha Franklin's old song, Who's Zooming Who? Exactly. Who goes to the casino and leaves their baby in a car? Are y'all done with the poll? %75% no. Yes, 16%. Wow. 8% not sure.
Anything else, car or anything? Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm making sure. Is it over there? The car, right? I can't hear it. Both, pretty much. Prior to that, regarding that. Scene 4. Name will be with Oklahoma Paul John Data 905. I'm sorry, being ready to flip. Mom. Paul John Data. Why are we leaving the baby in the car?
I went to go find his dad.
Why are we leaving an infant in the car?
I went to go find his dad.
This is stuff I put people in prison for. Why are we leaving an infant in the
I was
car?
literally out.
I'm not interested. I want to know why you left your child in the
I had
car.
to go find his dad. My phone was.
So it's okay to leave that baby. No, I didn't say go over there. Unlock the car for us. Unlock the car. Stop. Unlock the car. We need to make sure this kid is okay. It's okay.
I'm a nurse.
Is that kid okay? Okay.
You got your ID on you.
We know how long she is.
Yeah, she pulled in at 8 a.m. this morning.
No, I didn't leave him in there the whole time.
Well, let's go over here to this much car right here and let's talk.
Guys, can I just see him for a second? I had him
He's right here and he's okay.
Can I explain something to you?
What?
I had him at 25 weeks.
Okay. Check on your kid. That's fine. Well, okay, so we got the car and all that stuff.
They're letting her hold the baby, kiss the baby. Wow.
Oh God, that's Madison. Okay,
Let's go here to the spot truck and talk to him.
Okay.
Right here's good. This one right here. Okay. Where are you coming from? From what? Coming from where? Where's work at?
Baby, also.
Okay.
He had my car.
He had your car, but how long did you?
He hasn't been here the whole time. His dad bought it.
When did it
I don't know. That's why I was trying to find him.
you get here?
He brought my car this morning. I was at work.
What time did you get off work?
7.
11?
7.
7?
This morning?
Yes.
So how did you get here?
He picked me up
And you've been here with him?
with the baby. Yes. And then I tried to go in there and find him, but I don't know where he's at.
No, it's not. Okay.
Guys, I would never do anything to hurt him. I spent 7 months in the ICU with him.
How long's he been out here by himself?
Right, girl.
Watch his day.
So now her watch is dead.
He is literally all he has.
No, don't walk off Sarah here with him.
Sector 14. 14. This address is RP's address or the address of Savannah's house? Your mom, right? In 14 is going to be the RP address.
What do you do at Bailey's? What do you do at Bailey's? What time? What's text?
He has a G button and everything.
As a what?
A G button.
What's that?
A fee.
How does he get fed then? Yes, do you have to look it up?
Yeah, and he eats my mouth too, but not very well.
Is this your child or was it adopted? Or?
No, he's mine. I had him.
Address 15 12 0 North
You hold him for a second. You know, we're just gonna, he's gonna hold on to him and check him out.
Why?
So I can talk to you in person. without your holding your baby. He's not taking your baby away. He's not walking away with it. He's a firefighter that's going to check him out. I wouldn't let him have him, though. I didn't trust him. Well, it's just he's fire and it's like half his name, so get back here and my phone call.
Well, I want to know that's the Jeremy Burger, so.
Right here is good. So I'll ask you something before I keep talking to you anymore, okay? So I'll read you something. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand these rights that I've just read to you?
Yes.
Okay. Keeping those rights in mind, do you wish to talk to me? I just need a yes or a no, those questions.
I don't know. I just want to explain.
Things that happen, okay, just real quick. Having those rights in mind, are you okay with talking to me about what's going on?
Yeah, because I wasn't trying to do anything wrong.
How long was he left in the car with it? I know the car was running, but how long was he left in the car?
What time is it?
2:56.
Like maybe 20 minutes.
What time did you walk in that casino?
I don't remember. I didn't look. My phone was dead.
So what was the reasoning for going into the casino and leaving him by himself?
One, I had to pee, and two, I was trying to find his dad.
Why are we trying to find his dad?
Because he was supposed to be.
Have you guys been bringing him inside at all? He's been here since, you said you got here when you got off
I've
work.
been here the whole time.
So how did you get here with his dad if he's been here since 8 o'clock this morning?
He hasn't been here for
How long has his dad been here? I think they've been here since about 8 o'clock this morning. The car was running because left by himself. She came running out and that's when we pulled up. So they're looking to see how long he's been by himself. So you're here, my lieutenant, for just a second. You know, they see how long she was in there for. That's what she said? Or, well, she said, but she also told me, well, they said she got here with her boyfriend, and then she said something about how he's been here since 8. She's been off work since 7 this morning, and she's still wearing her scrubs from 7 o'clock this morning. She doesn't know what time she got in there because her watch is now dead. She said she thinks. What's that? I didn't say you were going anywhere, so just calm down for a minute.
7 months in the ICU with him.
And both of them, and that's all fair.
Did you even know you guys are okay?
I'll do.
I work with kids,
All by stuff for welcome, Miss Collins.
especially in the casino.
Talk to me and then stupid.
Don't talk to us like we're stupid.
I'm not. Are you guys really?
I was the best to take the big child. And we just follow up with your man.
So this,
Who are you talking to about?
the security officer's looking. But she said she got here with boyfriend, but then she's saying she didn't, but then she's saying she did. So, but like I said, there was a bunch of people out here staring at us, and then they're got their thing going, and I'm up there trying to figure out if this car branch can run out at us. So we'll find out. So I couldn't hear it, but they said the car was on. No, I can't hear it because the music is on. So. Are you looking still?
A quick review shows that she's got out at 9:30 but I don't get up right.
Well, she keeps saying that she didn't get here when he got here, but then that's how she got here with him. So it's not like.
Yeah, I've heard about seriously very.
Don't dive. That's a good point.
And I couldn't hear. Was that?
Go call him on the
I can't
intercom,
hear.
exactly.
Running, but it's still really awesome.
Right.
It's like they see what more even.
Like, it's still running. It's just
See there, she looks at it. See if they see one. Hang on, Tiffany.
yeah, it's still warm, but
It's airflow, but
it's still not full.
no. I'm sweating just standing out here, so.
So it's airflow. It's not very cool.
All right, brief intermission. So they're going back and forth on the information. She really did not wanting to admit she's had the child in the car for that many hours, 5 hours or so. But she got there at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. Obviously, it's afternoon. Probably after 1 o'clock or so.
Is that even slow? The wanted to park it here.
Because all she said is she was on max 20 minutes to go inside and be in time to staff.
And he's been here since dawn, but this time. That's
What's wrong?
I'll talk to her again and see what she says now.
Yes, explain that.
They're saying since 9:30 this morning
That's fast.
from the cameras.
Well, she says her cousin is very good car.
Right, and she came up in, but then she's her story's bouncing back and forth. She said she came here with him, but then she didn't, but she did.
She said she came from work.
But she got off work at 7 o'clock this morning and came straight here. They said the only thing they could see is she got here at 9:30 and that's all they could tell. But it didn't look like she ever came out.
So she went in and she never came back.
She like came in and never came back out since 9:30.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're
Slow roll.
She said 20 minutes from the time she saw us when she came running out.
She's only in there 20 minutes, so. They're gonna start at 2, slow roll it.
To about 30.
So no. Well, about 2:45, that's a
Right.
so they
Yeah, it's like whether it's 6 and 9.
Right.
It's like in the way.
Even if it was just 20 minutes, that's 20 minutes at a high crime area in a parking lot with a running car with an entity that can't feed itself because that's a tube. So
Tasty.
Okay. I'm going to take a Wednesday on to you. That's all I gotta do. This is probably one of the most sophisticated camera systems in the United States. It's just a, they're saying you went in about 9:30 this morning and have not been back after the call.
What's so loud?
Why would the camera say you want?
I did come out.
You did?
what time was that at?
You don't feel you guys.
The reason we're being straight up honest with you is because this facility is so sophisticated, they read my face and know everything about me, even though I've never been here before. So they know everything. They have facial recognition, all kinds of fancy stuff. So they have timestamps. They have 2 people that all they do all day long is watch cameras. They've already rewound it since they found your child in the car alone. So you got out of that car at 9:30 and walked in this morning and walked inside, and you never came back out until you saw law enforcement and security out here. So is that what's the case, or what's the deal? Because I've been honest with you the whole time about what's going on, and I would appreciate the honesty back.
Yeah, giving addiction, some shit we can work with. You can lie to us, anything.
No, I'm not.
Yes.
You look like you got something on your chest that you're wanting to tell us, but you're upset to tell
She
us
needs to
about.
tell
Is
the
there something
truth.
you want us to know
She's
about?
caught. I don't know why she keep lying.
These are not.
She should know the cameras have seen her.
It sounds like you guys are going through a lot, especially with his dad. You want to make it sound like you're trying to find him. I understand that.
Well, not even just today, but in general, I mean, separating.
Right.
Like I said, I was going to my mom, and she likes to sell.
Do you think you might have a gambling problem?
No,
It's okay if you do. I'm not here to judge you if you do.
no, I mean, I don't think so. I just realized that.
Did you gamble a little bit when you got here?
We don't want to about that. And something, like it. Because it's been addictions. You don't know what that's paying.
That's why they offer self-exclusions from this place. It's because people need help and they exclude themselves to get help so they don't gamble all their money. My family went through that. It's an addiction just as much as alcohol or drugs can be. And it's okay to admit it. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to say you're a horrible, horrible human being because you like to gamble some money. I'm not here to say that.
You want to stay with the hospital and get checked out? Do your family come to get him?
Do you want him to be checked out at the facility or anything?
Vitally, he's stable. Just fine.
He's been. He has many issues.
My only concern is fit in that car.
Exactly. You don't know what's wrong with your child.
His dad wasn't out here.
5 hours. It's
They
ridiculous.
didn't say, but they just said you were out here at 9:30 and it seems like time flew by and we lost track of time.
His dad and his friend. Most of us. No, it's just me. I can try to follow you.
This woman is stupid. It doesn't matter. You can't leave the children in a hot car. You can't leave a child in the car with the car running. Anybody could come and jump in your car and take your car for a spin ride with your child in there, wreck the car and your baby's in the car. Somebody can take your child and do something to your child. If you leave a toddler in the car, they can get up and move the gears. This black girl is dizzy. But she's steady making excuses and not trying to own that she walked into the damn casino at whatever time and they have seen her in there for hours. She should know that they have seen her in there for hours and that she did not come back out to check on the child. And leaving it running for hours? Well, she must have had a full tank of gas because it's an SUV. It's not even a small car. And obviously somebody saw the baby in there. People were standing around. Some people were standing around. Or she peeped out and saw the police and came and ran out. This is all a bunch of hot butter mess.
Sit down with me one second. What's that? Yeah, I guess he's on feed too. Yeah, the car's running, but it's not like right.
Well, it's still gonna be child neglect because you're leaving a child in a car
The dad never came out or anything.
and anything can happen.
Because that's what she's asking.
We don't get things.
I haven't asked it, but we just told her, camera showed this, and she quit saying that, and now we're talking about possibly having a gambling addiction. So, I told her that if that's the case, that I'm not here to judge you about that, but she said she was gambling and she got here. So, what they have to do, they say they saw anything, 3, 2, or 3, or anything.
No, 9:30 this morning, and you know, once I put the car through.
Okay. Oscar his name too, we ID him, find him. Baby might be going to the hospital, especially if he's been in car since 9:30 this morning. So, if they can have that pulled up, I'm sure Muir Stimbo will want to go up there and look at it, hopefully. So, give just a second. They said since 9:30.
EMT check like she's ready to go.
I would imagine, yes. That was. I'm just trying to figure out what you can do with him. Let's see that song up there.
Well, I reviewed it and I have both of them checked from the front to the back, from the back to the front. We're gonna see any interaction with the vehicle from 9:30.
Said the same thing.
Yeah.
So you want to call him, maybe, and have her run a CSP?
Stacey, do me a favor and fix my car real quick.
Okay, hold on, hold on.
So put your hands on that. We will talk here as soon as I get done with this.
Still wanting to talk.
Yes, stop.
Let's come sit in the back of my car, what's up? 506, 1 thing all the time. See any guns, knives, weapons, needles, anything like that on here? Okay. Get that stuff tracked.
What's gonna happen to Rylan?
Well, we're getting someone to deal with him right now. You're working on that, right?
Someone.
Who is it?
One of my friends.
Your friends? How about your mom, his mom?
Me and my mom are talking.
Do you have a grandma or anything like that?
No, my grandma's gone.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. I completely understand that. Do you have aunt, uncle? Is it just you and your friends?
I can call my aunt, but
Where they live at?
one lives in Colorado, but she don't come.
But no one like in Tulsa or anything like that?
No, just my friends.
Do you live in Tulsa or around here somewhere now?
Skysta.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. That's her purse, her diaper. He said it's a great diaper bag. Packard's asking for it.
It looks like a backpack. Yeah, that's it right there.
Take your purse.
No, that's
Oh, that
right.
diaper bag? Okay.
Yeah.
Please take it. That's all it is. There's all your stuff right there, okay?
Okay.
Put your keys in. It'll be in my front floorboard.
Okay. Can you tell me what's gonna happen?
I know you're under arrest for child neglect, okay? You're going to go to Rogers County Jail. You're going to be booked in and you'll see a judge as soon as they can, all right? With the meantime, you're calling people that are state workers that will be with your child the entire time. I'm not saying they're going to take your kid away from you, but they will be with him at the hospital because he's been without fluid since 9:30 this morning. And they want to make sure your child is going to be healthy and safe. Okay?
Okay, can I explain something so they know?
What's up?
He eats overnight.
Overnight?
He has continuous food that runs overnight. He only eats for enjoyment during the day.
Okay. I'll let them know.
So it's not like he was just,
Right, I get you. I'll let Paffer know so they can go to the hospital, okay? Go ahead and hop your legs in real quick so I can. I'm going to find out. As soon as you get in, I can find out.
Brian Peace is the source of that information. Well, once again, another person crying, getting arrested. You have to be aware, gambling addiction or not. Don't know if that boyfriend was in there or not, baby daddy. Haven't heard that he was or spotted. She was lying from the moment she came out to the SUV to see about her child. Bottom line. She lied. Well, she should have known they were there for a reason. And they were going to check with security. So what was the point? And continuously to lie and make up stuff. Now at the end, while you're sitting in the police back of the car, you want to talk about what the child's eating and you fed them overnight and all that type of nonsense. It doesn't matter. And that makes it even worse if the child has a feeding tube. Even though the car's running with air conditioning, but still dangerous. We have crazy people out here. They'll steal your car. They'll steal it if the door is locked. The windows are up. You're sitting here with a child in the car. In the car. Running. Not thinking that somebody could come and just hop in the car and take your car for a spin, be 2-3 hours down the road. Probably don't even look in the back to see that there's a baby back there. And you don't know what people will do with your child. Can't assume you're going to get a good thief. It's ridiculous. So she's got more problems than just gambling. And then you sit there and say, oh, I don't got anybody. I don't speak to my mother. My aunt can come from Colorado. It's just my friends. They weren't about to give your friend your baby. Hell no. They don't know what the hell your friends got going on. And we've seen how that works out. Case I brought you back in the winter, right near me. Somebody gives their friend their child. Now the little child is dead. Because the woman shot the child in the head with a gun. Because they said the child was eating up their snacks. You can't trust anybody when it comes to children. That's the bottom line. Sad to say, pathetic to say, but you don't know people. And all this smiling and gaping and everybody acting like they care for children and, oh, I love them, I love kids, I take them in. We have heard this story 1,000 times. And then they're the same ones you end up seeing on the news for abusing children. The foster mother, the adoptive parents, the foster parents, the church people, the church home. It just goes on and on. Everything is an illusion. Exactly. Very good question. Who keeps the child while she's working? Yes, because she has on work smocks. While in this audio, feel free to go check it out. It's on my community page. So, exactly. Who keeps the child while you're working? If it's an infant, that's a damn good question, because you got to ask yourself, well, if you go to work, so does she work at night and then the boyfriend or somebody keeps the kid, or she gets the friend to keep the kid? Because this is daytime. But she said she got off at 7. So that's a very good question. If she got off at 7 in the morning, and that's true, who kept the baby the night before? Now that's even scarier. And knowing her, she probably trusts, well, I'll leave it, hell, the baby probably safer in the house alone than sitting in this damn car. But you understand what I'm saying. I never saw that the boyfriend showed up. So she could have made all that up. Got up, where she got the kid from, took the kid from the babysitter or left the baby in the house alone, and took the baby with her to gamble and left the baby in the car. For all we know, there's not even a boyfriend. So you don't know what to believe. Because if you lie about coming out to the car, you'll lie about having a boyfriend, a baby daddy, and I haven't heard that they saw a baby daddy. What a mess. I want to thank you for joining me. That's the latest information. As I said, feel free to go to my community page to check out that content. I also have shared a video on there. It's coming out of Oklahoma as well. 3 nursing home workers accused of elderly abuse. I haven't even opened up the video because I don't even want to know what these heathens have done to the elderly. Nowhere is safe. They don't do right by you in school, college, work, nursing home, rehab. People are just grimy. They're self-serving. That's it. It's all about me, what I need, what I'm about, what I got going on. I ain't worried about you. Worry about you later, another day. And this girl, who knows if she'll even got her kid back. I don't know how old this content is. Oh, May, I think. May of this year. So I wonder if she got her child back. Because naturally, they've been giving her a care plan to follow, parenting classes. She had to take drug tests. But that's a very good question. Who kept the child the night before, if indeed she went to work? Because imagine she didn't have a babysitter. Possibly could have left the child alone. And she's going on talking about how much food she fed the baby through the feeding tube. So basically she's trying to say, I guess the baby's stomach was full before she went into the casino. But they don't know anything about that. A police officer, he just knows that your child was in this car and you're on camera leaving and never coming back out until you ran out and saw police, EMTs, fire trucks at the automobile. Thank you, 509. Thank you, I appreciate that. Well, Queen is a few subscribers shy of 16,000. Please share this network so I can reach the 16,000 mark of subscribers. Thank you for supporting this network. Thank you for those who have been around the Queen for a couple of years, following me from one child case to the other. But know that this is not a true crime network. I talk about all types of topics on this network. Feel free to go to YouTube Q to check my shorts. I will be uploading shorts when I get out this live stream. I'm continuing my coverage on the Muir case. That was the topic of this live stream. Daniel Muir has admitted on recorded audio of beating the child because of inappropriate behavior. Is that true? I do not know. We will see. The 16th, they have a court appointment for no contact order and bond. Will a judge issue bond? And will a judge issue contact with the children? Supervise or no contact? Do they deserve contact with their children? Do they deserve a care plan to get their children back? Because now we've learned all children have been removed. Don't know how many were removed, but it's a bad situation. And naturally, only a fool would leave kids in their care after looking at Bryson's eye. He beat that child, and basically he bragged about it. And he also said if he was at his homeland, the child would be put to death. But because he's in America, he can't unalive the boy child. That's a strong thing to say to another human being about your child. So this shows me they don't need any kids. And a judge is going to hear those words in court next week, and he or she will have to decide if these two are worthy of being in the care or taking care of these kids. And I frankly would not give them back after hearing the comment about unaliving the child in the homeland. And I don't think Mr. Muir knows where the fuck he's from. You don't have any lineage to Israel or anywhere else. So stop the nonsense. Just stop the nonsense. You, like those other people, are just miserable and you're looking for something to latch onto, and you found your way to this crazy religion, but look at what it's costing you in the end. And naturally, you don't want to blame biblical teachings on a person's attitude. But obviously there's something wrong with these people. They are misguided. And they're luring people in the fold. And it appears to be dangerous, whatever they're teaching. Whatever the ideology is. I don't see it being any good. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below this video. Take the polls on my community page. Check out my content. Extensive content. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $Angie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Thank you all so much for following me. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I aim to please the best that I can. And this was an unplanned live. I just happened to see that update in the queue. And so I missed this information days ago when I was covering the Muir case. But he is on audio admitting to beating the child because allegedly he exacted inappropriate behavior against other children. They do not say which children. They do not say what exactly he did. I do not know how many total children there are. My understanding is that they have 3 children amongst themselves, Kristen and Daniel Muir. Everybody needs help. Severe mental help, if indeed these allegations are true, of child molestation. And as I said, Mr. Muir and Kristen are not good role models, because if this boy grew up in a household with just his mother and his father, you have now introduced him to polygamy, where he is now watching you hug and kiss on other women. So we don't know what you all are engaging in at that house. You could be watching porn. You could be having menage a trois in the bedroom, coming out. He's seeing this. We don't know. So I don't think they're in no good favor to rear children. And as some people have been saying in the chat, it's no telling what is going on in their house and on the compound. Thank you so much for your time. You have been listening to the Vault XL. Thank you.